Hello everyone. As part of data analysis using PIG under Big Data, Hadoop and Spark, let us learn some more concepts of how do we store the data effectively, how do we take care of missing the relation or anonymous relation, all these things, various other operations that are possible with PIG. First, to store the data, sorting the data, relations whichever we are using in PIG, they will be always unordered, and whenever you are trying to print the data also, you cannot exactly predict in which order it is going to send. So the output is same, but the order of showing the tuples might be different. And if I want the data to be shown in sorted order during output operation, how do we get it? So relations in PIG are always unordered. For example, consider this relation which has got 3 tuples 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 4. Always we cannot guarantee that we get the output in sorted order, right? So if we want to have a specific order, we need to use the order by clause. So how do we specify order by clause? Just like SQL order by, whenever you want to get the data in sorted order, say for example, I want to put this data in sorted order. How do I give this one? For example, if you see B is equal to order A. What is A? This particular relation. Order A by first attribute, that is positional attribute $0, then $1. I want it in descending order. So who should be used for sorting? First attribute of the tuple should be used for sorting, then second attribute should be used in descending order. First one in normal ascending order, the concentration is on second attribute to be displayed in descending order. So if you try to finish off this operation without any errors and try to show the output will come like this. How do we see? If you see, first attribute is coming in regular order because you did not specify any specific order for the first attribute. The default order it follows in ascending order, and the second attribute is coming in descending order. How do I know it is coming in descending order? If the first attribute is same for both of them, you are seeing the second attribute in descending order. This is how you can use the order by clause to display the data in sorted order. Now, further processing, how can you do this? Any further processing on a sorted relation is not guaranteed to retain its order. What do I mean by this? Say for example, B, we have displayed it in sorted order. In the previous one, we have displayed the relation B in sorted order. There is no guarantee that this sorted order will be maintained if I try to perform some operations on B. That is what they are specifying. Any further processing on a sorted relation is not guaranteed to retain its order. For example, if I specify C is equal to for each B generate all, display all the attributes. What is the meaning of this one? Even though the relation C has some contents as relation B, the tuples may not come in sorted order. Then one more thing, so sorting always comes with order by clause. If you still want relation C also should display the data in sorted order, here also we need to use the order by clause. So it does not guarantee the sorted order is retained from the previous relations. That is the main point here. Next one, I don't want to see the entire data. I want to see only a portion of the data. It's like a model data set. Instead of showing the entire data set, I want to see only some of the rows from the data set, or just like a prototyping. In such case, you have the option D is equal to some relation is equal to limit D is equal to limit B by 2. What is the meaning of this one? From the relation B, show me only 2 tuples, don't show me all the tuples. In reality, B has how many tuples? 3 tuples. In the previous slide we have seen. So you are trying to limit B by 2. Only 2 tuples are to be displayed, not all the tuples. It can be used immediately after the order statement to retrieve the first n number of tuples. Limit will select any n tuples from the relation, but when you are using immediately after the order by clause, this sorted order will be retained. And one more thing, say for example, the relation B has 3 tuples. If I give 5, limit B by 5, that means you are giving the limit value which is more than the number of tuples that are present in the relation. In such case, it will try to show all the tuples that are there in the relation and stops. So, in our example case, you will get all the 3 tuples. Then combining and splitting the data. I want to combine the output of 2 relations, or I want to split the output from a relation. How do we do that? Just try to understand. Sometimes you may have to have several relations and you want to combine them. How do we do that? Using the union statement. For example, dump A, there is a relation. I am showing what is there in the relation. So, there are 3 tuples in relation A. Next, what did we say? Dump B. You are trying to show what is there in the relation B. There are 2 tuples in relation B. Now, what are we trying to do? I want to combine these 2 relations. So, I am specifying C is equal to union AB. Do we have this option in SQL? Perfectly, yes. We have set operations wherein you are uniting the output from one SQL query with the output of another SQL query using the set operations, union, intersection and minus. These are prevailing in SQL also. So, similarly, the relation values, 2 relation values or tuples can be combined into a single relation using union operation. Now, how does it unite them? First one is having only 2 attributes, 3 tuples. Second one is having 3 attributes, 2 tuples. What does it do? Union means it just puts them together. No much matching, nothing. So, it just puts all of them together. Because we did not specify any order by clause, it shows you the data in a random order. Then, the other thing to be noted here is, what is the data type of the tuples in this relation A? Both of them seem to be integer data type. Second one, first 2 are character array. Here we do not have simply character, we have character array. Next one is an integer. You are trying to unite 2 relations which do not have similar structure, similar schema structure. In such case, what it will do? If you try to see this one, you are trying to say describe A. It will show first attribute is integer, second attribute is also integer. Describe B, you are trying to display this schema of the second relation. First one is a character array, second one is a character array, third one is an integer. So, just try to see this one. Both are integers, character array, integer. Then, what did we do in the previous one? We tried to unite both A and B into C. Now, what will be the schema definition for C? If you are trying to unite 2 relations without uniform schema, then the output relation will be schemaless. So, if you try to describe C, you will get schema for C is unknown. Then, I want to split the data. Just now we have seen combining 2 relations into one. Now we will try to see split the records. How do we split this? The split operator is the opposite of union. It partitions a relations into 2 or more smaller relations. Now try to understand this particular pig script. Records is equal to, records is like a variable, you can give any name here. Records is equal to load that particular entire text file as how many attributes are we taking? 3 attributes: year, temperature, quality. Year is a character array, temperature is integer, quality is also integer. So, we have taken the data and your dump records, you are trying to show the output, whatever is picked from the file into records. So, these are the records we got. Now, try to see this statement, split records. What is records? This relation. split records into good records. I want to split it into another relation called good records. Again, this is a variable name. The variable names are of your choice. So, split records into good records if temperature is not null. So, that is the first case. How do I put a tuple into good records? If temperature value is not null. Otherwise, where are you placing it? You are placing it in bad records. Now, try to understand what are we trying to do here. Records is a relation. You are trying to split it into two more relations. First one is good records, second one is bad records. Which tuple will go into good records? Whichever has temperature not null will go into good records. Whichever has temperature value null will go into bad records. If this is the sample data, who has temperature value not null? Here it is 0 not null, 22 not null, 111 not null, 78 not null. But what about this record? Temperature value is null here. So, this record will be identified as bad record, it will go into bad record, rest of the 4 records will go into good records. If you try to dump both of them, good records will have all the 4 records where temperature is not null, bad records will have the row which has temperature value as null. So, we can combine two relations into a single one, you can split a single relation into multiple relations. Then pig in practice, by default whenever we are working with pig, it runs background MapReduce programs. So, when it is running in MapReduce mode, the degree of parallelism is almost matching the size of the data set. By default, pig uses one reducer for 1 GB of the input data and almost it goes up to 999 reducers in parallel, right. So, it can handle data sets of that size. We can also override these parameters. I am not working with these scales. I am not working with 1 GB of input data, I do not want to work with 999. Definitely you can set the parameters as pig dot execution dot reducers dot bytes per reducer. By default, because it is taking 1 GB, this is the default value, you can change the value to pig.exec.reducers.bytes per reducer. Say for example, I want to make it to 1 KB, you can just set it to 1000. Similarly, number of reducers maximum is 999. If you want, you can change it to whatever max value you want. Just to set these two parameters, you can change the default one. Say for example, see this example, what did we do? Grouped records is equal to, you are trying to talk about certain group of records which should work with the group by clause using the records relation. I want to group my records based on the year value and in parallel how many reducers do you want to work? 30. If you do not specify, by default it will see for every GB of input it will try to define one reducer. You have less data than 1 GB but still you want more number of reducers you want, you can specify it with parallel clause. Similarly, we can also set using the set operator environment variable, you can set it like set default parallel, default underscore parallel as 30. After this every time 30 reducers will be working in parallel. Then anonymous relations, all the time if you see we are trying to give a name to the relation. Did I give here? Load this data into records. Split the records relation into good records, bad records. I am trying to give name to the output relations. There are possibilities wherein you can try to work with anonymous relations also, wherein you do not want to give any name. Say for example, if I specify load this data set, where should I load it? I did not give any name to the relation. In such case, the system defines something called as anonymous relation with name @. So, if you want to see the output from that relation, dump @, it will try to show the output. if you understand SQL perfectly, in SQL also there is something called as system defined table, which is the default table with one row, one column. We call it as the dual. Say for example, I want to select, how do you give? Select salary from EMP. You are specifying it with a relation. Say for example, I want to select the system date. How do we specify the query? Select sysdate from dual. Dual is a default table wherein the user need not define any table, but he can use it to retrieve system data. Similarly, pig is providing you an option for anonymous relations wherein you are saying load the data. Where are we loading it? We are loading it into an anonymous relation, and whenever you want to work with it, you specify it with the @ symbol. Then parameter substitution, just like SQL query can be given with parameterized queries, here also we are specifying the statements using parameters. Just see this example. Records is equal to load. You are not specifying which data set is to be loaded. What did you specify it as? You made it as an input parameter, $input. As how many attributes you want to take, you are specifying that. Now you can specify it as weather data set of US, weather data set of any other country. If you have multiple weather data sets, you can specify it in the input parameter. So far in the previous examples, you were specifying which data set is to be loaded. You fixed it. Now you are trying to make it as a variable, a parameter. Then filtered records, temperature is not error value and quality is within this. Grouped records, you are grouping all these things. Now I want to find out the output. Store maximum temperature into, previously you used to specify where the output is to be written. You exactly specify the relation name. Here we are not specifying the relation name, we are specifying the second parameter. The data set has become a parameter, where the output is to be written has also become a parameter. Now parameters can be specified whenever you are launching the pig using the param clause. How do I specify that? Pig hyphen param, who is the input data set, file name, entire path should be given. Similarly, hyphen param, who is the output folder. You have to specify this. Now pig supports parameter substitution, and parameters in the script are substituted with values which are given in the runtime. Dynamic parameters, suppose you did not set them, dynamic parameters can also be given using this. How do I specify dynamic parameters? If you see, the first one I have fixed the parameter, second one I did not specify, I just said percentage year, percentage m, percentage d. Later I will specify during the execution who should be substituted in place of y, m and d. Those are the dynamic parameters. Similarly, parameter substitution occurs as a pre-processing step. So we need to sometimes specify these substitutions. Sometimes pig also works with dry run mode. What is that dry run? Wherein parameter substitution generates original script with substituted values, but it will not execute the script. Unless you execute, it will not substitute the parameters. So far we have learned how do we write piglat in scripts and all. So as part of your lab exercises, you should be working with various operators like union, generate, join, evaluate. All such operators are to be executed. You need to write a user defined function. I have shown, as part of the example, I have shown you evaluation with filter function. You need to write some more functions as part of the lab exercises just for a sample. And these will also come in your theory paper. So you need to be thorough with writing user defined functions, and also you need to talk about how do we combine the relations, how do we split the relations. So you cannot simply separate theory concepts from practical concepts of this particular topic. So you need to do whatever is taught in this theoretical concept should be part of your lab exercises also. If not the same question, similar kind of questions should be done in your lab and they should be kept in your record. Thank you.